Hi and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to show you 9 ways to minimize file size in Adobe Illustrator. So large files are often the reason why we might have crashes, we lose artwork, it's very frustrating. For that we'd recommend protecting yourself with a free plugin called Autosavior. You can find it on our website. But actually a large file also means that editing, zooming, saving is going to take several minutes. Sending it to a colleague is going to take longer. So we're going to show you 9 ways to make that file smaller without any detriment to your artwork. Save options. So these come up when you save a file for the first time. Otherwise, just press Save As and save over that file. And then you get these options. So 2 things we're looking at: create PDF compatible file, use compression. So this first one, this is Adobe's way of making backups, but it massively increases the file size, so untick that. To replace that, we need to use Autosavior free, a plugin, which I'll explain in a sec. And then this one is use compression, so we want this on. This really helps with file size. Press OK. So just to show you I'm not cheating, the first being with PDF on and compression off, it's 185.2 megabytes. When we change our settings to turn the PDF off and compression on, 15.1 megabytes. That's a kind of a huge difference. Now we need to make sure we're auto-saving. So once you've downloaded Autosavior free, go to File, Autosavior Settings and tick Autosave. You can change the settings there. I've actually got Autosavior Pro. This is a kind of even better version where I can make backups as well. All the information I'll put in a link for you though. Using linked images. Images are anything that's pixel based, so things like this photograph. Also, Photoshop effects, drop shadows, these are all pixel based and they're all embedded in your file. For the larger ones of these, such as this photo, we would recommend you save it as a linked file. To do this, make sure the object's selected, go up to the control panel and press an embed. And you can pick where to save the file. Press save. So now we know it's linked, it's got this big cross, and also it tells us up here on the control panel. Anyone using CS6, you don't have that option, so you need to use the Update Image button on the raster panel, and it works in the same way. So if I save that file, and let's have a look at the difference in file size. So embedded, 70.5 megabytes, linked 35.2, so that's a really big difference again. Cropping unneeded embedded image data. Sometimes we have to embed our image, and if you're not using all of it, if you're only using sections, why not trim or crop it? So to trim, with the image selected, go to the raster panel, trim button. I'm picking top left pixel color, which will be white, and applying it to all the sides. Press OK, and you can see it's trimmed in where it can. Another option would be to crop. Go up to the control panel, crop image, and then make your changes. And press enter. That's only available to CC17 and above, so if you're not using those versions, use Rasterino's crop tool, which can be found under the eraser stack. Works in the same way. There we go. Reducing the resolution of raster effects, so that's anything kind of in the Photoshop effects gallery, anything in here, drop shadows, inner glows, they're all pixel based. So what we have to do is go to Document Raster Effect Settings, and at the moment it's set to 400, so it's ready for print, but actually if I'm working on it, why not change it to 72 while I'm working, and then when I want to print, put it back up to 400. Another benefit of this is that your graphics will display much quicker when zooming in and out. Removing excess points. The number of points definitely affects the size of your file, especially for things like this image trace, CAD files, or even the pencil tool, all create unnecessary points. Natively, we'd select all our points, go to Object, Path, Simplify. With the curve precision set to high, you can see that it's reduced it from 87,000 to 31,000, which is really impressive. However, our artwork has completely changed. Instead, try our Vector First Aid plugin. Once downloaded, you can find the panel in the window menu and then just press the Smart Remove Points on Paths button. Now I've actually set the tolerance a little higher than the default to 30 so that it matches the simplify. But basically it's very intelligent and it's kind of a one-stop shop. There we go. And if we deselect it, you can see it's hardly changed from our original, yet it's removed the same amount of points. Just to double check that, 36,000. So it's actually a much better way of tidying up your artwork. Another option, which might be better for smaller areas or where you need more control, is our Vector Scribe plugin. Specifically, its Smart Remove Brush tool. Once selected, you can just brush over those points and decide which ones you want to delete. And actually I've got pressure sensitivity set on mine, so the harder I press, the more it gets rid of. If you don't want to do that, just go in nice and gently. There we go. Reducing width markers. Using uniform and variable width paths in the width brush and width gradient tool, both part of the Width Scribe plugin, can lead to the formation of a large number of width markers. This is going to increase the file size and slow down Illustrator. So using the width selector tool, which you'll find under Window, Width Scribe, Width Selector, with it selected, it will show you all of the width markers and how many you've got on the panel, so 3,324. To reduce this, we use another part of Width Scribe, which we can find under the Object menu, first selecting our artwork, Object, Path, Optimize Width Markers. So I've put this up to 7.3 and it's reduced it from 3,000 to 1,800. So that's a really big reduction, and actually it hasn't changed the look of our artwork. Another option would be to use the width eraser tool. So if I zoom in, select my artwork, go to width eraser and then eraser tool, it will highlight the unnecessary ones in red. And if I just brush over, you'll see it deletes them. So this is another way which has maybe more control for you. Using symbols. Vector artwork can contain multiple objects or groups of objects resulting from duplication, such as with our blossom here. In this case, save the item you want to duplicate as a symbol in the Symbols panel. Here you'll see we've got quite a complicated flower. All I do is select it, drag it to the Symbols panel, give it a name, and then I can either place it, or if I prefer, maybe use the symbol sprayer tool. There we go. And brush it in. Using symbols greatly reduces the size of the original file and is particularly justified if you want to duplicate complex objects. Minimizing the number of steps of blend objects. Using a large number of specified steps with a blend will look good, but it can result in a giant file size. To reduce the steps, select the blend, go to Object, Blend, Blend Options. Now let's try 30 and preview it, and actually it doesn't look any different, so that's a much better option. While working with a few complex blend objects, you could set the specified steps quite low, say 1 to 3, then restore the desired value when your artwork is completely ready. This trick will speed up your workflow. Deleting unused swatches, graphic styles and symbols. Every time you create a new document, it's more than likely you'll have these default swatches, styles and symbols. So not only do they make your file bigger, but they kind of clutter up your Illustrator. Why not use Vector First Aid to clean them up? All we need to do is go to Window, Vector First Aid panel, check the document. It tells us everything in the file that's unnecessary, and just press Fix All. It cleans it up in no time at all. And if you find yourself doing this a lot, you can actually assign that to an action and key press to make it even quicker. And that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. There's no doubt that if you use any of these 9 ways, you will reduce your file size, and this will make your life in Illustrator a lot easier. Any questions, do comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got lots of new tutorials coming up. And also, if you're interested in our plugins, do look at our free trial. I'll put a link at the end of this video.